Greetings. It's Saturday, and I haven't gone to the dump yet. It started out to be a little rainy and drizzly and cold back in the 50s again. I will make a trip to the dump after lunch. We haven't had lunch yet. Thelma is downstairs making me, for Father's Day, a loaf of her cheese bread. It has a full 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese in it. And it's all for me and her. So that will be my Father's Day gift. No surprise there. I've been reading, this is a book I got, the 6 Days of Genesis, okay? 6 Days of Creation. And I got this from, it's written by Paul F. Taylor. And I got it from Creation Moments, along with the Young Earth Handbook. Anyway, I've started reading it, and I've learned about some things that I had never heard of before, and that's good. I always like to learn new things. Whether I accept them or not is another story. Anyway, but he kind of hit a snag for me, and I'll probably finish the book. I intend to go through it because I expect he's got other stuff in there that I would like to know. But he hit a snag. Adam and Eve were created, God created Adam on day 6 after he created all the other mammals, or I should say all the mammals, animals, land animals. And then he created Eve. He took a bone out of Adam and created Eve from it. And there's all kinds of concepts about how that might have worked or whatever. But regardless, Adam and Eve created on the 6th day. And eventually they sinned. They were tempted by Satan in the form of a serpent telling them that, yeah, the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, God said don't eat it and don't touch it, whatever. I'm not sure he said don't touch it, but anyway, they did. They ate it, and they sinned, and they fell. That was the fall. That's what we call, Christians, we call the fall of mankind. They did not have any children yet. We don't know when that happened, but a lot of people assume that it happened on like day 8. We have the 6 days of creation, we have the 7th day that God rested, and later in the 10 Commandments says, remember the Sabbath, that's the 7th day. Whether it's Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, doesn't matter. Just take a day every week and rest. Okay, that's the concept here, I believe. Anyway, the Sabbath was made for man. Man was not made for the Sabbath. Jesus said that. Anyway, we don't know when the fall happened, but the next event that's recorded after the fall is the birth of Cain and then Abel, supposedly the first 2 sons of Adam and Eve. And they had other children because Cain, anyway, we don't get into that right now. Adam was 130 years old when Cain was born, I believe. So, you know, there was a period of 129 years and 3 months prior to Eve becoming pregnant, and that had nothing to do with the fall. They could have had children in the garden, but they didn't. So they could have spent 100 years or more in the garden, in perfection, walking with God, talking with God, in close fellowship with God. His book sort of says that, you know, they weren't there 3 weeks before. You know, he doesn't come right out and say that, but it's like it's almost immediate. It's very soon after creation is finished that they're tempted and they fall, and I wish we could get over that. You know, this is the way Sunday school books maybe portray it. You know, it's like boom, boom, boom. These things happen real in rapid succession, and then 130 years go by and Cain is born. That's another whole story, Cain and Abel, in the Sunday school books and so on. But that I'm setting that book aside for now, and I've picked up, as I was redoing my bookshelf, Francis A. Schaeffer. He's gone, but he wrote this book in 1971, true spirituality, which he uses that term as the Christian life. And I've started reading this. I've never read it. I'm going to. Have a good day.